big things from such a small place.
I like to say, and I used to joke, and I don't know how much Disney liked it because it's a Disney film. They financed it. They came to me and they said, anyway, so when I finished the film, they really did not actually mess with me at all. But I used to joke in the press, I would say that this is the first Disney film they've made without a single animal in it, in Africa, you know? And they didn't quite know whether to laugh or cry at that. So, you know, the vice president of Disney was a Ugandan and is a Ugandan. And this was his passion project, and he came to me to do it. And I think they really trusted, you know, that. But I think it's my documentary background. Because everything you do in your life, I think, is part of how you work. You are what you do. And in working in the streets, in working in actually even street theater, in working with real people, with mixing, you know, non-actors with legendary actors, that's what I have done, I guess, for 35 years or something. And in the Queen of Katwe, it was the same thing. There were two legendary actors, the football player, David Oyelowo, and then Lupita Nyong'o, who had just won the Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, who played the adults. But all those kids were from the communities of Katwe and Chibuli, never faced a camera before. And most of the adult actors were all Ugandan theater actors or non-actors. So it's the documentary, you know, it's the love of the power of truth, of ordinary life. You know, nothing for me is more powerful than the truth of ordinary life, actually. I find it the most extraordinary. But the beauty of making fiction is that you can distill it, you know, so that the fashion, for instance, I love the colors of kitenge, of the style, the smartness of a Ugandan. You know, Uganda is like the largest second-hand clothing place in the world. You know, everything comes from everywhere. So my fish lady who sells me fish in the Gaba village down below, one day was wearing a Pucci, an original Pucci dress with a kitenge wrap around her, just to give you an example. And this would happen, I mean, I just love the style, you know. And so it's a way of like doing honor to what I see and what I love around me, plus the spirit and the dignity of everyday life, you know, which you'd never see. You'd never see in an African film. If a film is made about Africa at all by the West, it is always about a white savior who comes and helps you, you know, make a bath, you know. And it's just not the way it is really in life, you know, and certainly not Queen of Katwe. So I was allowed, you know, I did what I had to do there, and it really worked. But again, see, now I made this film that is just the film I wanted to make, which is hard to do because it's a full studio film. But the studio did not know how to release this film. They did not know how to release an African film, basically, a special African film. They spent millions of dollars on the publicity, and they publicized it in the Olympics, in the Summer Olympics, whatever. They publicized it in the most wrong ways, so that people hardly knew this film came out, even though it was out, it was reviewed brilliantly and so on. So you're at the mercy of these waves, you know, all the time, and you've got to be really riding with it. I mean, in many ways we thank God for Netflix, because that means it's always available to anyone who's there. And of course there are many avenues for film, but it's not easy, you know, to have the distribution match the success of a film.
Yona Mute.